What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Danny the Bull, back with another live stream here to talk overall crypto market, here to talk some altcoins that I like for the coming bull run, this next cycle that I think is going to be really big. And today, Papa Powell spoke. Jerome Powell gave his remarks after the Fed decided not to raise interest rates, and he kind of bolstered the market. My portfolio jumped quite a lot after Jerome Powell spoke. He was quite dovish, right? That means bullish, and talked about some things I'll get into. Talk about some Bitcoin news, talk about some alts, talk about some Omi. The utility plan is progressing a bit with the bronze tickets and season one of Omi staking. So I'm going to talk a bit about that and give you my thoughts on it. It's kind of a mixed bag. So a lot to talk about. As always, drop your comments, questions in the chat, and let's talk about a bunch of different altcoins because we are early. And some of the ones that we've been talking about have shown a lot of growth and have done well already, in spite of a pretty big pullback last week. All right. So, things are continuing to move and the market is holding up pretty strong. Let's see who we got up in here in the chat before we get into some of the news. We got Meta in the house. What's good? SoCal in the house. Says VVverse in a coma. Yeah, so VVverse for on the VV side of things is stalled, I guess, is the word. No forward movement in that regard. Kulmo in the house. What's good, brother? Thanks for coming through. SoCal says I can't figure that Telegram group. Yeah, need more time in there. So yeah, hit me up with any questions, SoCal, and I will definitely help guide you about that Telegram because there's a ton of good information in there. So it's really easy once you get used to it, but there are different channels, and if you're not used to the sub channels, then you could find it confusing. But once you get used to it, really easy to understand. So we'll chat. Winter Bear in the house. What's good? Yeah, let's get on with the show. Let me pull up. I'm not going to talk about Omi just yet. I want to talk about the overall market. This came first. Earlier this week, Gary Gensler renewed his warning of crypto fraud and manipulation. He sent out a letter warning people about all the hazardous things that go on in crypto. And what was notable about it and interesting is that he did the same thing when the Bitcoin futures ETF was approved. Prior to that being approved, he sent out a general warning about the perils, pitfalls of crypto. And so he did it again earlier this week, which many are speculating to be a sign of an impending approval for the spot ETF. Adding more fuel to that fire was, I think this was yesterday, reported that the SEC met with BlackRock to discuss the spot Bitcoin ETF. So it looks like things are progressing and that there's more and more signs that ETF will get approved come January. Now, last week we had a sharp pullback, or was it earlier this week? In crypto, a day feels like a week. But we had that sharp pullback in Bitcoin, a nice 10% flash crash, right? It kind of, whenever this happens in my mind, I envision a big storm coming through. And, Bitcoin dropped super quick. Alts followed. What was interesting was that from what I saw in my portfolio, alts didn't drop precipitously more than Bitcoins. Bitcoin dropped like 10% in that flash crash. Some alts did like 15%, but they didn't drop like 20, 30% or anything crazy like that. But Bitcoin has since recovered back up to over 43K. My portfolio saw a nice big jump today when Papa Powell was talking live, pumping the bags. And I like when Jerome Powell does that. Again, he spoke. The Fed met today. They announced no new rate hikes, which was expected. But more than that, people watch and listen to the words of Jerome Powell because he gives indicators of what's to come, right? He drops hints and clues as what's around the corner and what they're thinking. And what he said was very bullish, and you can see the results of it in the charts, right? Charts speak for themselves. Look at that nice move up right here. This is as he was speaking, and that's because for the first time in of maybe since they started raising rates, they talked about dropping them, right? So he gave his perspective of 2024, 2025, 2026, and there were prospective rate cuts in there. So I don't remember the numbers, but he said something like maybe, I think now we raised 5.25. And he said end of 24 expected, all things going as planned, dropping to 475, 2025 dropping to whatever it was, 375, whatever it was in 2026, finishing off the cuts. And so he's not done that. And so he's signaling that they are gearing up for rate cuts. All right. That's, of course, pending, taming inflation, inflation continuing to be on a downtrend. And it was, I think core CPI was at like 3.1, which was a little higher than expected, but not much. It was, I think expected was 3% inflation. We got 3.1. The other measure of inflation came in strong. And so if inflation continues to trend in the right direction, they are going to be cutting rates, I think, sooner rather than later. And what does that do but set up a perfect storm for this whole market and, crypto coming up, spot approval, the big Bitcoin ETF. Maybe we get a dump and a pullback, right? That's probably a healthy thing, and it's widely expected that we're going to take a nice haircut. But then, shortly after that, come January, we're only 3 months away from the halving. The halving is April. We're getting close. So even if we do get that pullback in January, we're only 3 months out then from to the halving. Now, you couple that with prospective rate cuts, inflation continuing on a downtrend, and you're really setting up for a perfect storm for crypto to really do what it's done in those previous cycles, and that's make people a lot of money. And so exciting listening to Jerome Powell talk. I was listening to him on my car ride home today, and he also acknowledged the danger in keeping rates high for too long. All right. So that's weighing on them, because if they do that, if they fail to lower rates, in a timely manner, they run the risk of putting us into recession and, doing a lot of damage. And so super bullish. Dow Jones hit a new all-time high yesterday. S&P, NASDAQ close to new all-time highs. It won't be long until Bitcoin also hits a new all-time high sometime in 2024. And then what happens to our altcoins that we're all hodling and buying now? And if you haven't been buying, if you're accumulating these small cap altcoins that we've been talking about, even if we get a pullback in January or pre-halving, whenever that pullback comes, even if that happens, if history repeats itself and Bitcoin hits a new all-time high next year, all these small caps are going to fly. They're going to do many, many multiples and make people a lot of money. So we've talked about a bunch of them on this channel, and we're going to continue talking about them. Let me get back to the chat before I jump into some things. Bub's talking about, yeah, the Telegram group. That's a good one. If you're not in there, he's referring to Ron's crypto therapy. And Ron linked up with me. He asked me and some others to help him create a private Telegram. And a lot of good information in there. If you're interested in joining, you can reach out to me. It is a private group. And Ron is offering a holiday sale through the end of the year. Jimbo Lee Lingo in the house. What's good, Master Jimbo? I'm going to talk about some Omi news in just a second. Let's talk about it now. Matter of fact, Omi utility keeps getting rearranged. I wonder if burn mechanisms are coming realistically. So let's just talk about the Omi stuff now before I get into the alts. And I'll give you my thoughts on it. And they're kind of mixed, I would say. So, all right, here we go. Let me try to open this. So, Omi Season 1, Omi Rewards Season 1 coming January 1st. Shout out to Foster who wrote this article. And, it's, I guess, his first, big assignment since getting in there and getting a job over there. So congrats and shout out to him. But basically, so here's my take on it. Bronze tickets are coming. And if you stake your Omi on layer 2 over there before January 1st, you will be receiving bronze MCP tickets. All right. And so on the one hand, I'm glad that there's progress being made. There's some degree of progress. They're getting something. They're getting the bronze tickets out. On the other hand, it's not quite what we expected, right? Or what was initially planned. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not still being planned. It's just that this isn't the real iteration of bronze tickets, meaning, originally, for bronze tickets, you use Omi as a utility token. You purchase bronze tickets, and that Omi gets burnt, and you can use your bronze tickets in the wait list in the queue system for extra chances at drops. And that's not quite how this is working. You're not able to buy bronze tickets with Omi in Season 1. It's more like soft staking sort of thing. That's one. Two, the use of the bronze tickets is, well, there are two things. One of them is interesting. One of them I'm not impressed by. So I'll talk about the one that's interesting first. So you will get opportunities for crafting in Vivi with your bronze tickets. Now, if those crafting opportunities are meaningful and valuable, then, this will turn out to be something of value and, bullish. However, we don't know what it looks like yet. All right. But so that's interesting, right? That you'll get the crafting opportunities. But the other part of it is that you'll be able to use your bronze tickets to purchase more MCP points. And so that's not really moving the needle, or, that's not really exciting. People have a lot of MCP points as it is, right? People have millions of them. I've got tens of thousands. And you can't yet even spend them. And so that's kind of like, so right now you're already earning MCP points with your staked Omi, and using the bronze tickets, you just get more MCP points. And so that's not anything to get excited about, in my opinion. So it's like a mixed bag. On the one hand, I do think it's forward movement, and any time that you can add utility or add importance or whatever to the Omi token, it's a good thing, and I'm happy about it. On the other hand, it's not like groundbreaking, and it's not, cause for celebration. All right. It's not a cause for FUD either, because they do say, where is it? When there is can I buy bronze tickets? In the future, it is intended that bronze tickets can be acquired using Omi tokens. However, the only way to earn them during season 1 by depositing Omi to your Omi web wallet. So that's still in the works. So to me, this is kind of a placeholder, right? It's a placeholder, and it's, kind of kicking. I don't want to say kicking the can down the road, but it's a placeholder. I think they know it's going to take longer to get that stuff out, and so they want to give people something and at least get those bronze tickets out. And so maybe that's an indication of more of a sense of urgency and an understanding that they've got to get moving on these things. So that is a positive thing also. All right, so there's some positive in there, but not groundbreaking, in my opinion. I'm kind of like, neutral on it, I guess, which is fine. I think it's going to take more time. Omi did a good job of recovering over the last week or so, bouncing back off of its lows into that 0007 range. It spiked a bit after the news of the bronze tickets, but you can tell, you can read the room, right? And you can see that people were initially, it caused that pop, but it's kind of settled back to where it was. And I think that's an indication that, all right, people like it, and they're satisfied, I guess, that something's getting done, but it's not moving the needle meaningfully, because we saw when that first staking was introduced back in August, that moved the needle. That moved Omi from 0006 to 0012. It did 100% move when the whole market was down. And so, yeah, those are my thoughts on the staking. Daniel Lee on the bronze tickets. Daniel Lee just dropped a video. You can check out his thoughts on it as well. But I think that, they got their work cut out for them. But they don't need to get everything done, right, by the end of the year. But they do have to get some things done. And this at least is getting a little closer, I guess. But I don't expect to be able to use Omi to buy things for quite some time, right? If this is running through like April 1st, to me, it low-key suggests that the ability to use Omi to buy bronze tickets is not coming before that. At the very least, maybe mid-year or even later. Who knows? It is what it is. Tommy Vesper in the house. Cardano Explorer showing a ridiculous amount of transactions, over 100K. Looks like institutional moves. Cardano spiked. I saw just before I got on stream, I looked at my portfolio and I saw ADA. And where's Soul? Is Soul in the house? Because ADA did quite a nice move in the last 24 hours, up to 66 cents, 16.5% move. Is not a small move for ADA. So anyone holding ADA, that's good stuff. It is. I spent the bear market mostly accumulating Bitcoin, ETH, ADA, Solana, and had added Omi, of course, also. But ADA is now close to 200% off its low, right? 75 cents would put it at a 200% move off its low of 25 cents. So it's good to see ADA moving and catching up. It was lagging behind. Solana was just a beast. It's continued to be strong. Got Ron's Crypto Therapy in the house. What's good, Ron? Anyone interested in finding great small caps follow him on Twitter, on YouTube, and check out his Telegram. It's a good one. Justin in the house, what's good? Pixel in the house, appreciate the stream. I appreciate you being here. Season 3 OG, not going to lie, I'm betting on digital collectibles more than anything. Big gamble, but it just makes sense to me. Yeah, and so we'll see how it goes, man. I think that digital collectibles will do well. I saw the Batman Todd moving quite a bit up to cross $600. So I do think there'll be arbitrage between crypto and collectibles. And yeah, I think it will do well. How long before OUP gets changed? Yeah, this is a thing, is that also setting expectations and then not quite meeting them in like the delivering. But they did mention that bronze tickets, you know, using Omi to buy bronze tickets soon. Still in the plans. SoCal says stalling for time. Yeah, a little bit. Dr. Doom in the house. These other coins that pump literal have no utility whatsoever apart from the chains. I'm just glad we are getting something. Yeah, and I think that's a difference between your first cycle in crypto and your second. In a coins, and this is why those first cycle coins, those brand new coins with the brand new narratives do really well. It's because it's speculation based, it's hype based, and it's the shiny new coin, and you can make all those promises, and you don't really have to deliver in that first cycle as long as you're delivering incrementally and showing improvement, getting things out. But you don't have to deliver on the full vision, because the cycle plays out. By the time the cycle plays out, we're in a bear market. And that's why it's harder for the older coins, I think, because then now they have to show and prove. Now they have to meet their deliverables. But let's get into a couple of things that I bookmarked and things that we've been talking about. Sorry, is this it? Let me go to my bookmarks. I'll get to Palm in a second. But here, like Nakamoto Games, is people ask like what they should buy, and there are a bunch of great choices. There's so many opportunities in the market. And Naka is one that's a bit safer, I think, for people that still has a bunch of upside to it. It's not it's a small cap still, I guess, but it's not like a micro cap. It's at $160 million market cap. But if you're looking for something relatively safer that's going to produce, I would say a good 10x. I'll look at my chart in a second to see what a 10x or a 20x would bring it to. I think Nakamoto is something that's worth looking at if, you're a little risk averse but want exposure to something that could do 10x, 20x, etc. Because they continue to build. And if you look at them, they just forged a partnership with Telegram to incorporate. They're the first ones incorporating Web3 multi-chain wallet on Telegram. And so that gives them access to all those Telegram users. And Naka continues to do things really well. I've been paying attention to them. I bought some at about a $90 million market cap, I want to say. It's pretty much doubled since then. It's one that I would, on a nice pullback, I would like to add more. But there are definitely smaller cap gaming plays that will yield bigger results. But Naka, I think, is a safe one in terms of if you wanted like a nice multiple. And that's not it. Because I do think that Naka is going to get to, let me see. think something like Naka, if they keep on doing what they're doing, building and growing, I wouldn't be surprised at a $10 billion market cap on that one, or, around there, because that's around where the Decentraland and Send were close to that last cycle. And I think that this cycle, if it's bigger and, gaming comes through like the metaverse ones did, which it looks like this is going to be the major narrative in that, at least this first part of the bull run. A $9.6 billion market cap at this point is less than a 30x, because when I made this chart, the price was $1.71. I think it's more like $1.90. But this chart accounts for dilution also, because a lot of coins are going to come into the market. So I'm looking at end of 2025, what that circulating supply is going to be. And, would I be shocked to see a $50 Naka, which is a good 25x from where we're at? And so people ask, for suggestions on things, and that's something that has, it's up there. It's getting up there in market cap now, but it's by no means a large cap. It still has a good 20x, I think, in it, and is maybe relatively safer than one of the micro caps. So if you don't want to take all that risk, or just spread out amongst different projects, but Naka's a good one for sure. I'm going to star these, SoCal, and perhaps get back to Omi later. We got VV Viral in the house. What's good? Nothing like a mix of Bitcoin, Omi, and micro cap talk. Yes, sir. We've got a lot of things in common, and in terms of what we're buying and what we like. And so let's talk about it. And here Justin saying Palm AI was a good call. Yeah, and if you were on the stream last week with Ron, he called out Palm. He said, and that was, I'm going to pull it up. If you're not following Ron, I think you should, because he's been pretty spot on with a lot of, I've had him on my channel a bunch of times. He's going to be on again soon, maybe next week or even this week. But let's look at the 7-day. Oops. So we talked about this last week on my channel. Ron came on, and it's gone up about, let me check my portfolio, 100 and something percent. It had a nice run. I think it was at like a $4 million market cap. It's now at a 9 or so. Let me pull it up. I'm up 200% on this. I bought it last week after the stream, and I didn't throw a lot at it. But right after the stream, I went out and bought some Palm. It's up 200% in that week. And so now today, following these things, man, it's a lot to keep track of, right, when you're involved with a lot of small caps. But I think VV Viral posted this in the Telegram. Utility announcement for Palm. We are excited to announce Palm DEX aggregator powered by Ox Project. Trading will be open on Thursday, December 14th. Looks like there's DEX integration there. Palm is an AI thing in Telegram. And so Ron called this one out. It was a really good call. And if I don't really, I don't shill private groups and Telegrams or even be a part of many of them, or any of them actually. But if you're interested in joining one, I would definitely look into Ron's. It's $175 till the end of the year. And there are all sorts of calls in there, like this one that did a 200% move in a week. And a lot of people in there. It's filling up. But Palm is, I don't know how long I'm going to hold it for. But, there are so many small caps out there that are making big moves, and just access to the knowledge is really big. I just bought some weapon. Yeah, so I'm not. I know. What's up, Tristan in the house? Tristan's also in that Telegram. Let's check out weapon. I've heard people talking about it. Here we go. I can't find the market cap here. But there are so many micro caps and small caps that haven't, and they're getting harder and harder to find, right? Especially like really, really good projects are getting harder and harder to find. But there's plenty of opportunity. You got to be plugged in though. You've got to be paying attention. And so pay attention. Keep your head on a swivel. Nobody talking about ICP moving up for weeks now. Yeah, you know what? Justin was talking about ICP to me. I want to say like a week or two ago. And I think, does ICP have access to that, the whole AI play? But yeah, look at ICP, man. The thing with ICP is that it moved up so fast after it first came out and then dumped so hard that I think a lot of people wrote it off. Because if you look at the chart, if you remember when ICP came out, it was this straight line up. It was crazy. It was, hyped. And then it completely came right back down. And I've heard things about SBF getting involved, manipulation. I don't know if it was on the way up or down, but I've heard different things. Don't know if there's validity, but this is a number 28 coin. It's not a small cap. This is a top 30 coin. It's number 28, less than $3 billion market cap. And there's still plenty of opportunity. We talk about the big caps. We talk about the small caps and the micro caps. For those that are looking to balance their portfolio out with, safer plays that might do less returns but offer more measures of safety, there are many, many, many options out there, including this one, including IMX, which I'm sure has gone up. I haven't looked at IMX in a minute. AVAX has been pumping, and that's also one that gives you exposure to the whole gaming thing, right? But it's more of an infrastructure play on the blockchain side of things because so much is being built on AVAX. And now you're seeing the meme coins pop up on AVAX and, a lot of things to keep track of, and it's hard. And one thing that I always remind myself is you don't got to catch them all, and you're not going to catch them all. It's impossible to get in on every move. There's so many coins, and many of them are going to do many, many multiples. And so can't drive yourself crazy and try to catch them all. I'm trying to determine which are some of the best ones, or, what I think are good long-term plays. And by long-term, I mean this cycle, what's going to provide for good multiples during this cycle. And then just try to accumulate because there are going to be opportunities to do so, which we saw last week on that flash crash. We're going to get more of those. In a bull run, Bitcoin is prone to 25% dips and flash crashes. And so it's important to keep some dry powder on the side for those opportunities. Good question here from Tristan. Actually came from Jem. I think in the chat, MCADE or G Swift. And I think this is an interesting one because I've got both, and I've talked about both, and I like both. So G Swift is an ecosystem play, right? It's layer 0. It's a layer 0 blockchain. And, G Swift can move between blockchains. By layer 0, it means that it can move between blockchains. It's got that whole interoperability thing going on. And it's a gaming ecosystem. And what I like about it is that, one, it's a gaming ecosystem. And Two, they've got a lot of, big influencers talking about this. Ivan on Tech has been talking about it for a while, and that's the reason I bought it, right? I mean, I bought it for a few reasons. One is that it's the ecosystem. Two, there are games in there that they already have like working product, good team behind it. Three, when Ivan on Tech, who has almost 1 million subs, and then I saw Crypto Banter guys talking about it, and I don't know if they got it on the pre-sale or what, but the fact that they're talking about it means that there's going to be big exposure for it. And so I jumped on it for those reasons. And I talked about it again on the stream. I've talked about it when I bought it. I said it was one of my picks for that week. Whoops. This is terminal. And since buying it 7 days ago, even with that flash crash, I'm up. Let me take a look. On my G Swift, it's moving up in my portfolio. I'm up 50% on it since going in on it. And so this is one that I think will continue to get exposure. It's part of Neo Tokyo, Alex Becker, also all those big influencers talking about it. It'll continue to get exposure. It's got a bit of a bigger market cap than MCADE. At about, I want to say 40 million. And another thing to consider is that it will also be more diluted. And if you watched my stream last week, I made those charts for all these gaming coins, all these small caps about dilution. I didn't get to that for G Swift, so I need to track it, but it's got very little in circulating supply compared to Medicaid, which hasn't taken off the same way my other coins have. I'm pretty much flat on it or even, which is fine. But Medicaid is at, I want to say, a $19 million market cap, maybe $17 million market cap, which is still, in my opinion, it's undervalued, and it's kind of a gaming hub. It's aiming to be a gaming hub for gamers and like an ecosystem, and have developers on there creating games, and it's a subscription based model where you can pay, like, you can access some stuff for free, or you can pay like $4 a month to play some of their games, and they have play to earn stuff. There's token utility, reward system. Again, it's play to earn. There's also a burning mechanism for the tokenomics. But what I like about MCADE also, in addition to its market cap, is its tokenomics. It's almost fully, it's like 82% diluted. And so it's not one that market cap isn't going to be inflated throughout the cycle by dilution like these other tokens, right? Myria, Games for a Living, Naka. Their market caps are going to grow simply because more tokens are going to be vested and be released. But, for MCADE, I think 82% already in circulation. And so it's got more room to grow than G Swift. So I think it's a trade-off. Which one? I bought both. I think that G Swift maybe is safer because it's got that exposure and already has strong influencers. But Medicaid has a smaller market cap, will be less dilution, and has greater upside. So that's my opinion there. And on the Medicaid side, they are partnering with a bunch of different, developers. Avegachi is one that they recently partnered with. X-Space, Miracle Play. So all these, I guess, like indie developers, small gaming developers. It's becoming a hub for, you know, all of these games. And so it's one that I've bought, and a lot of people, you know, like Virals bought it also. A lot of people in that Telegram have bought it, but you know, it hasn't moved yet. So we'll see. It actually did make a nice move up, but it sold off, I think, on the news of. So they just released a new, an overhauled platform, and so I think there was a bit of a sell the news event, right, where it went up, and I was up pretty good on it, and then it sold off, and I think that's because of you know, buy the rumor, sell the news. Platform dropped, and then there was a lot of selling pressure. And it's pretty much stabilized now. So, you know, if you're looking for a gaming token that, or exposure to the gaming narrative on one that hasn't quite run up, I think that Medicaid would is one that you should research for yourself. Don't listen to me. But look at Playable Man. Has been on another run. Nice little run up for Playable Games, getting close to a penny. So, yeah, this is one that Ron was talking about on this channel when it was at a $1 million market cap. And I didn't buy then. I bought a little fairly recently, but I'm up pretty good on it. But yeah, but if you're looking, my point was, if you're looking for one that hasn't quite had that run, just research MK and see what you think. Uno Sean says, I'm looking where everyone isn't. Yeah, people are manipulating the narratives and forgetting the true narrative in Bitcoin. I'm buying stacks heavily because DeFi and Bitcoin is being way overlooked. So there is that whole Bitcoin narrative also, and other things inside of the DeFi for sure. But narratives are narratives, and people buy stories and narratives in crypto, and there is a lot more room to run. The gaming thing hasn't gotten really started yet, I don't think. And they're going to be different narratives and different niches, and many are going to do well. So there's plenty of opportunity all over. Jordan Riz in the house. What's good, buddy? Give follow and sub to Jordan. It would be neat to get a Shopex report in the Telegram. Yep. I'm sure if you request it, they'll someone will do it. But Justin's been talking about Shopex. I'm not familiar with Shopex, but I think it had a nice move. Here we go. This is why he's been talking about it. So I'm not familiar with Shopex, but it's almost doubled up. GRT. Yeah, I'm not very familiar with GRT either. But also, look at this one, man. The last 24 hours, it's had a nice move. There are just so many tokens, and people always throw them at me, throw tokens. And it's hard to catch them all, to familiarize with all of them. But plenty opportunity in these markets. Just be dialed in and network with people. I think networking and building with people, because that's where you'll get ideas and catch things early, is when people tell you before it's out, like on Twitter and trending. West Coast, thanks, buddy. 51 watching, only 19 thumbs up. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you helping me out. Oh, I got a super chat. Thank you very much. B-dubs. Great channel. Thank you. Is there a sub $10 million market cap coin you like? So let me dig deep here. Let me look in my portfolio and see where they're at now. Well, Palm just crossed 10 million. What I bought, uh, did it pop? I just bought this, and it's not because I've done like a ton of research on it. All right, so Virtue Poker. Is this it? Virtue Poker. I bought, well, this is up quite a bit in the last 24 hours, but I bought Virtue Poker last week. It dumped after I bought it, actually. So I probably bought around here. I bought it on the weekend, so on Saturday, maybe it was even higher. Around here. So maybe it's around where I bought it now. But the reason why I bought it was because Alex Becker alluded to it. He came out with another video on Saturday, and he alluded to a coin that he has but doesn't want to talk about on stream because it's got the market cap is too small, and he doesn't want to pump it. And shortly after that, this is why, man, when I try not to shill things, but in the Telegram, VV Viral shared. Did I bookmark it? Well, Sound Money, who's someone in the VV community on Twitter, showed Alex Becker's wallet, or showed proof or whatever that Alex Becker has Virtue Poker in his wallet, and that's the one that he was alluding to. People even questioned Becker about it, saying, "Is this, why don't you talk about Virtue Poker?" And he kind of like just shrugged them off. He didn't deny it, but he said that it was a gambling token. It had sub $10 million market cap, and this one was then linked to him on Twitter. And so I bought this just off of that alone. I didn't do a ton of research into it, but if Becker has it and he talks about it, it's in the gambling narrative, which is another reason why I wanted to I like having exposure, right, to other narratives. And so I picked some up, and it's popped a bit now. It's at an $8 million market cap still. Another one that's sub 10 million. Well, this is a $4 million one. Is Crowny on the Solana. So I bought Crowny because it's in the Sol ecosystem. I wanted something in the Sol ecosystem. It's also what it does is like integrates into Shopify for rewards system, for like a reward system. And so it's got that Shopify narrative, it's got the Solana ecosystem narrative, and it's a $4 million market cap. Well, this says 6 million. But this is probably right because CoinMarketCap sucks with market caps. So I bought this based on that, not a ton of it. And it's had moves of like 200-300%, and it's, it kind of gave them back. It did a good like 200% for me. It since has come back down a bit. And so it's relatively flat. I'm up a bit on it, not maybe like 30%, nothing crazy. Not one that I have like a ton of conviction in, but it's one that interests me. And I'm supposed to be talking to the project manager. I've been like DMing him, trying to get more information on this one because a lot of people are asking me, and I want to be able to tell them more. Another one that, let's see. Man, there's a small one that, let me see it. Give me 1 second. I think, so this one I got in the Telegram. It's at a $2 million market cap. Ron might get mad at me for leaking it here, but this is a gaming play, OTK. It's been flat. What's a $7 million market cap? So in the Telegram, this is one that people have been buying. It's on Solana. It's in the Solana ecosystem. They have, I believe it's a working app. They have they have different games on there. And so check it out. Do your own research. Those are 3 with sub $10 million market caps that you can check out and see if you like them. I swapped this one in Phantom. And again, this one came from Ron's Telegram. Thanks for the chat. Justin, thanks for the super chat. Green candles sell everything, I guess. Yeah, man, I'm just hodling. Thanks again for this super, Justin, supporting the channel. Yeah, this is the first of, even if things pull back and everyone talks about it, there's going to be a major pullback in all markets, in the crypto market, the entire market. Even if that happens, we're still so early, right? It's pre-halving. This is the first of many pumps. And so it's really exciting. And people also talk about, and Justin, I'm glad you said that, because there's like, we always talk about, is it too late to buy things? And, you know, people might say that G Swift has already, let me look at it. It's probably already done a 10x or whatever it's done since being launched. And so did we miss the boat? The answer is you missed the boat on the first 10x, but some of these things still have $20, $30 million market caps. And if the expectation is realized, if what we think is going to happen happens, and many of these go to market caps in the billions, you know, not buying the really good ones because it's now at, and I'm not saying G Swift is the one, whatever you think is the one, and whatever it is, Playable, Naka, whatever you think is the one, or one of the ones that are going to do well, Veracity. Many of these have already done 5, 10x's. And so there's a school of thought, I already missed it. You missed the first run, right? But that's like kind of like saying, you know, when ADA went from 0.002 to 2 cents, it did that initial 10x, and then ignoring it and trying to find something else that was cheaper, you would have missed out on that going to $1.50. Because oftentimes winners keep winning, and you might not catch something at the very bottom. That doesn't mean you can't extract money from it and make good returns on it. And so just wanted to put that out there. PAG's rating on Fidelity is 9.4, which has gone up since November 2nd from earnings, which was up 8 to 11%. I'm not sure what you're referring to there. But speaking of PAGs for the Omi community, I don't know if you guys saw this, but I bookmarked it. Where is it? Did I bookmark it? Here he is. PAGs bought like 80 million Omi. 88 million Omi. Which is interesting because I had him on the channel. Was it 3 weeks ago? And he was telling me the world was going to burn and that the economy was going to crash. And I was arguing with him, and he was calling for multiple black swans in 2024 and saying exit all markets. But I think he's seen this bull run get started, and he's pivoted. So shout out to Pags, just busting his chops. I'm going to have to reach out to him. Pink Panther, Omi is in good position right now. These gaming tokens are mooning too early. Most of the profits will move into bigger caps like Omi. So I do think Omi will do fine as long as they get out their deliverables. I've said that. So I agree that that's true. However, I think that a lot of these tokens that are starting to moon, this is the first move of the bigger move down that's really coming, that hasn't come yet. And just look at, where is it? I thought I kept it up here. Nope. Oh, here it is. Yeah. The historical snapshot of 2021, November 22nd. Look at the top coins. And when you get into like Axie Infinity, $8 billion market cap, Internet Computer at that point had 8 billion. Decentraland, almost 8 billion. At some point, these made initial moves early in the run or early in the narrative, early in the metaverse narrative. Decentraland did a double X, 2X, 3X, 4X, 5X, 6X, and it was at a $50 million market cap. And it made its initial move. But the bigger move was still to come. And so, yeah, I do think that Omi's in a good position in terms of the overall market. And I do think that money will flow in and out of sectors and coins, and that Omi will rise. But they also have to deliver, and they need exchanges. They have to build token awareness, and they need to deliver on a couple of utility things. Not everything. They don't need to do everything. If they do that, price action begets price action in any, I said in crypto, in any speculative market, price action begets price action. So what that means is people chase the green candles and people ride things up. And I do think that will happen for Omi at some point. What's good, Mo Collections in the house? Pink Panther, how'd you gather that? Yeah. Yeah. So VPP doesn't even come up on a chart, and my rule of a company that doesn't come up on a chart that you don't buy. So it comes up on which chart are you referring to? I don't know. And like I said, VPP is one that it's not like I don't have a big position in it. I put a small amount of money in it. Highly speculative. If I lose it, I lose it. But many of the micro caps sub 10 million at this point, harder to find. You're going up the risk, further up on the risk cycle or whatever. Last cycle, it was DeFi when the bull came. It was old news. We'll see what happens, if it has legs or not. Ava is hecka small. Let me check out Ava. Are you talking about Avalanche? Is that what you're talking about? Or something else? Let me know, Justin. DeFi won't always be old news. I took my 10x profits from Miria, moving and wondering what is the next. And Yeah, I mean, that's one way to play it. For me, it's I don't want to move in and out of. I don't want to move in and out and try to time narratives. I hold Miria. I'm up on it a few 100%, 400%. But I think that Miria is going to crack the $1 billion market cap range and maybe go to like 4 billion like Gala did. And so I'm just building out my longer term plays, and I'm moving around on other things. But if I believe in something for the cycle, and I believe in Miria for the cycle, then I'm going to try to ride that up and then sell, as it gets higher. But there are different ways to play the markets, and it depends on your perspective, risk tolerance, etc. During the bull run, will you DCA your gains into your blue chips like Sol, ETH, etc.? I don't think so, because my plan is actually I have quite a bit of Sol. I plan to DCA out of Sol as it goes up into smaller caps that I think can 5-10x as the market's moving. And then take that into probably USDT, like into a stable coin, and then wait for the cycle to play out and go down again before I get back into Bitcoin and ETH. But my Bitcoin and ETH, I already started selling that stuff early on. Well, not too early, but I started, moving from my biggest caps to the small play, the small micro cap plays. Rode Bitcoin up from 15, 18, 20,000 to about 40,000. Put that into some of the micro caps, and now I'm riding those up. And yeah, that's my plan. I'll be taking profits from Solana, realizing some of those gains, right, and taking some of that cash and keeping it and paying myself, but taking a portion of it also into smaller caps that I think can do well and ride those up. Because as this progresses, so like the move on Solana for me was at $8, $10, $13, up until $25, I was buying Solana. And I accumulated and accumulated. And now I swapped out 50 Sol for a few small coins in the Solana ecosystem. And now those have gone up, a couple 100%. Those gains I might put back into Solana right now. But as Solana keeps going up, I'll probably take profits out, realize some gains, and ride some other things. VPP is on Uniswap. Yeah, so I got VPP, I think, on MEXC also. It's available. Yeah, check it out. Do your own research. All these, everything is risky. It's crypto. It's a wild space. Things move to the upside and to the downside really fast. And we had that flash crash last week. If we had another flash crash that took out 25% of Bitcoin and did more damage to the alts, then you're looking at some of those small caps getting, decimated. So just a word of warning. But I'm sure you know that. Avidly, well, got dumped. Let me take a look. Oh, yeah. Yep. What's the market cap on? $16 million. I'm not very familiar. But yeah. After, let me see if this where's this chart? It's been sideways and then straight down. There's got to be more to it. But PAGS and VGR. I'm not really familiar. Let's take a look. The only PAGS I know is Mr. PAGS. I don't see this coming up in here. What's VGR? I'm not sure. Also not. Yeah, 16 mil market cap. In other news, for those who have Mask, which is one that I've been buying and others have been buying, there's a new partnership announced there. Mask is one that I like. Also small. I think Mask is now, it went up quite a bit, but it's been, it's retraced a bit. It's been range bound. $19 million market cap. Still, I think, small. I was buying this at 6-7 million. And you see it had that nice run up, went into price discovery mode after breaking all-time highs of 50 cents. That was the all-time high. Broke through that, went to 72 cents, and is, retraced, going sideways. I think it, likely continue to do this before taking off again. And eventually soon, I think, hitting that dollar mark after breaking this all-time high. $19 million market cap on Mask, 92% fully diluted. Like this one. I like Mask a lot. If you've been following along, you know that. Many of you have it as well. What is it? It's a decentralized web browser, VPN ecosystem, really, privacy ecosystem, decentralized storage, decentralized wallets, RPCs, payments, internet routing, node hosting, dApp storage, DNS. And they recently partnered with, it was bookmarked. Here it is. Presearch, which is kind of like a decentralized Google. So they continue to build out their partnerships. They're on now just one centralized exchange. It's a small one that just got listed recently. I do like Mask. When you research a coin, what are the top things you look for? So I look for sector and narrative. I look for the team, and if they seem like competent and not rug pullers, doxed. I look for utility if it's there. Circulating supply. Those are some things that I look for. But Mask, so I'll tell you that when I saw Mask the first time in the summer, Ron again was on the channel. Mask made sense because I liked the privacy narrative. And I think it'll be increasingly, it's one that's not going to go away. When you talk about big tech overreaching and infringing on basic rights and selling your data, and now you talk about a CBDC, that's going to be in the news. And that privacy, I think, narrative will not go away. If anything, it'll just be ratcheted up. So I like the privacy narrative. I did research on the team. I've spoken to the founder. They're smart. They've been working on the product. They have a working product. They have token utility. And so, and the tokenomics of this one are top notch because it's 92% diluted. They had no ICO also, right? It was like fair launch. And so, they're not bound to VCs. And to me, this one made sense right off the bat. I jumped right in. It's one of the first microcaps that I bought. I swap it on MetaMask. If you have MetaMask, you can swap it on the Matic network. You can also do it on the ETH network, but then you'll be paying crazy gas fees. And I went to swap something during that flash crash. I went to buy something on ETH. I think it was MCAD. I went to buy some MCAD, swap it out because I can't get it on an exchange. And the ETH gas fees were $120. Crazy. So I try to buy things on other networks, and yeah. PAG's rating is 9.4 by Fidelity. What are you? I don't know that I have. I don't know. Do I know Timo? I'm not familiar, to be honest. $45 million market cap, it looks like. I've heard of it, but I'm not very familiar with it. Flex and GEHC, which I look at the fundamentals, we're done. Or don't buy it. Got you. Yep. I even have a bid on Vail at 1440. Oh, you don't buy pink sheets, I see. All right. Just join Ron's Telegram. See you there. Yeah, I think you'll find value in there, Eli. I'll see you there also. I'm very active in there. It's a good one. VGR pays 20-cent dividends each quarter. Nice. A lot of opportunity, a lot of, small caps, even the big caps are going to do well. Another one in the gaming narrative, which I've been holding, is Games for a Living. They just hit 15,000 holders. They're growing. Space is growing. And I do think that good things are coming. Is there quick navigation advice? All right, yeah, for the Telegram, there are a lot of different sub-channels. The general one is just going to be general conversation. If you go to Ron's picks, those will be like his picks. And then there are a couple of TA things. Just hit me up in there. If you hit me up in my sub-channel, I will, or DM me, I'll give you the lay of the land and help you out. What is going on with Ethereum, the gas fees? Yeah, this is what it is on ETH, right? This is the problem with ETH. And they're going to get more and more outrageous as congestion picks up. And anytime there's heavy traffic, this is what happens. And so use other chains, and sucks. So with that, I want to say thank you all for coming through and joining me. Make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. How high do I think AVAX market cap can go? Pretty high. So let me, real quick, I'll answer this one. Let me see. I'm trying to find, where is that? I want to look at last cycle real quick. So if you look at last cycle, Solana hit 90 million. I think Solana is going to at least 150 billion this cycle. AVAX last cycle was at, on this day, at least 30 billion. I think Ethereum goes to $1 trillion, which is roughly 7,000 or whatever. I think Solana captures up to 20% of ETH's market cap and can potentially go to 200 billion. If it follows in the footsteps of ETH, it goes higher. But I think conservatively 150 to 200 billion on Solana, which would put it back at all-time highs and like around all-time highs. I think $260 would be $150 billion market cap. And then I think Avalanche could get up to 90 billion, maybe. Rough off my head. I haven't done a ton, I haven't, that's not research. That's just off my head. I think I can see AVAX getting up there close to 100 billion. But we shall see, which would be, 3x from where it was at the height of last cycle. TRK, I bought the natural gas ETF. Nice FSR. A lot of good stuff. Pink Panther, thank you for coming through. Make sure you hit the likes on your way out. I'll be back. Maybe I'll stream again tomorrow if I have stuff to talk about or get someone on to stream with me. As always, like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for coming through and chatting. Peace out.